Okay, we do have an 8:30 report this morning. We have two, one on the Canadian and one on the US dollar. The first one is the unemployment claims on the US dollar side, and then on the Canadian side, we have core retail sales in retail sales month over month. So those are the two reports that I would be looking at this morning. Now, we did have, well, I had a question yesterday about the ADX peaks, especially on gold, because we know that we're going to get one on gold. Now, if you notice this morning, I have actually added in the ticks to the line in the sand as well as the line in the sand. Now, the reason that I did that is because we're expecting a magenta peak on the 1440. Where will that magenta peak come in? Well, if you have these two columns showing, okay, and I typically don't because I can look at the chart and tell, but if you're not like me and you can't look at the chart and tell, we give you the value, okay? So right now, if price goes up to approximately 1105.3, we're going to get a magenta peak. How far away are we from making that magenta peak? That's the next column. You can see we're 76 ticks away. On crude, we're expecting a magenta peak at 51.56. We're just about $1 away from making that magenta peak. On the Dow, I don't know what that was. We are currently at 17863, which is about 89 ticks away from making a magenta peak. Okay, over here on the Canadian, on the 45-minute, we're expecting a magenta peak in at 0.7667. We're about 32 ticks away from that. Does everybody understand that now? So if you're running the scanner, you always know, okay, if price moves this amount, we're probably going to get a magenta peak. Okay. And I want to make sure everybody understands that because it really is important. The other thing, if you look at gold RSI values, very, very high. You can see that it is below negative 57. Okay. That tells me that gold is really oversold this morning. Okay. If you scan down the rest of the list, you see we really don't have any other oversold values. The Canadian almost there, but not quite. Okay. Um, let's see. We're getting long divergence on the S&P 500. We're getting short divergence on the euro. We're getting short divergence on the Swiss franc. We're having long divergence on the 1440. This tells me to anticipate this magenta peak coming in. Now, this brings up the next thing that I want to go over. This is on a 1440, okay? We're getting potential long divergence. Does that mean I go long? No. It could take a couple of days for that magenta peak to come in. In other words, you could have long divergence for up to a week. Okay? This is where you need that confirmed divergence. All right? Does everybody understand that? If you've been through my volume analysis course, you should understand what I mean by being confirmed divergence versus just long divergence there. Okay, so now that we have that done, I also want to go over because a lot of clients don't realize that you can do this. On the meter, you can see I've got the euro, the Swiss franc, the Canadian, the Aussie, the Japanese yen, which I don't really trade a lot right now because it doesn't move that well, the British pound, and the dollar index. Do you see how all of these are turning up here? In fact, they're turning down. The dollar is turning up. Okay. That's what you want to see if you're trying to trade. Okay. In other words, if you want to go short on the euro, okay, you want to make sure the euro is coming down and the dollar is going up. Now, these are the currency futures. Okay. So, for example, on the euro, if you're trading the Forex pair, bear with me here, it's the euro US dollar. Notice that the euro is the first one in the pair. So in this case, you would trade in the direction of the currency future. Let's say that you're doing the USD JPY, okay? USD is the first one in that pair. So in this case, the USD is going up. It's colored green for greenback, okay? And the yen is coming down. Okay, so that tells me USD side is going long, the Japanese yen is going short. Does everybody understand that? So if you're trading the currency future, you would be going short. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to actually close that, so hopefully, it will actually help the flickering that the screen is doing. Mm. All right, now I'm going to bring over the charts for today. No problems so far, right? And y'all are going to have to bear with me because I do have charts on my other screen that I have to bring over so that we're not flickering. Okay? Now, on gold, the 1440, we are expecting a magenta peak. In order to get this peak, price will have to continue upwards. Okay. So I know at this moment it's not going to come in because price is coming down. You also see that over here on the 720. Well, we have a magenta peak, so why is gold going down? It should be going up, right? You just flipped the ATR on the 180. What happens when we flip an ATR? It has to come down and it has to do what? It has to test for support. In other words, it's trying to find an area that says, hey, we have found support, so now we can push up. Do y'all understand that? That's what we're looking at on the 180-minute chart. They have not found it at the ATR on the 45-minute. Okay? This gave me a clue that it's probably not going to find that support here. Why? Because they managed to flip this ATR. They have to find an area that is going to support price. Do y'all understand that now? All right. Now, this chart over here, you can see we have a red line up here. It's the only line I actually have on my chart right now. It's a red line right up above 1150. Notice I don't have anything below. Okay. If that's another clue, you better wait for that support to be formed. Okay. There is nothing right now that is supporting a price move to the upside. Do y'all understand that? All right. Let's go and look at the Dow. The Dow gives you a totally different picture. Okay. What do you have on the Dow? On the Dow, you have a yellow line and then you have two green lines. Okay. The Dow, in other words, on the 45-minute is finding support to push back up to this ATR. Remember, when we flip an ATR like we just did, what do we expect? We expect price to come back and test the ATR. In this case, we're expecting it to test for what? for resistance. Are the charts flickering a lot, guys? All right, let me close some of the charts that I won't need. Okay, give me just a minute. It's because I've got so much open this morning. Okay, is that better? Is that better? No? Okay, hold on. It does it when I overwhelm the program. How about now? How about now? Is it better now? It's still flickering? All right, there's one other way to do this. I'm going to have to call them today. What about now? You just see the 1440. Okay. Well, I'll just move all my charts over here on this one. All right, so let's go to the Dow now. Okay, on the Dow, you can see that we're approaching 17,706. Okay, so you've got about 70 points before this gets to an ATR. Okay, on the 720, let's just load this on the 720. Okay, on the 720, do you see how you're approaching this congestion dot? What would you be anticipating with the magenta bars right now? I would be expecting a magenta peak. You're at a level, okay? You're at a level of support, okay? So I would be anticipating an actual pullback to the ATR on the 720. So to me, this is telling me, hey, we have a potential upward move, okay? Because we need to come back and we need to test 809. Well, 18009. Okay. Now that will pull down and it may pull down to here, but that would be my anticipation right now. Okay. Does everybody understand that one? So far I'm thinking, we're going to go up. All right. Now let's go and look at the 180 to see if the 180 is still saying the same thing. Okay. The 180, what are we doing? We're bouncing down from this ATR right now. Okay. It has a potential to actually come down and test this low. Given what the 720 minute is showing, I wouldn't count on that. Do y'all understand that? All right. So then if we go over one more screen to the 45-minute, and I'm actually going to change it so y'all see the 45-minute. What's the problem on the 45-minute? We've seen it. We saw it on the 720. We just flipped this ATR, right? We're expecting to come back and test this ATR, correct? That's about 17,820. That's what I would be looking for. Do y'all understand that? So to me, the Dow, a little bit confusing today. Would not be my preferred market, in other words. Now let's go look at the NASDAQ because I think the NASDAQ is setting up better. Okay, does everybody see the NASDAQ 1440? What do you have? You have the magenta peak. Okay, what does that magenta peak tell us? It tells us we should come back somewhere around 45.14. I know that that ATR pulls up to a price, so I'm expecting 4,500. Do y'all understand that? That's what I am anticipating. In order to do that, what's got to happen? Okay, very simple. If we're going to go down to the ATR on the 1440, the 720 is going to have to do what? It is going to have to break this ATR. Do y'all see that? The ATR is 45.99. It has just made a high, okay? I would be anticipating this to continue to bounce down. Is there anything that actually supports that on the 180? Voila. What are you at on the 180? You're at an ATR. What normally happens at the ATR? Anybody want to venture a guess? It's going to at least bounce down. Now, ideally, okay, you were watching the market yesterday and the scanner told you, hey, you are at an ATR, okay? And I guarantee you, you have already doubled what your risk was, okay? Does everybody understand that one? All right. Now, if I go and we go to the 45-minute here, what have we done? Okay, we have flipped the ATR. What happens when we flip the ATR? We expect it to retest the ATR. Do y'all understand that one? Viewer 12, what did you not understand? You're supposed to bounce down on the 180. The ATR acts as support or resistance. Okay, so at bare minimum, you'll get a bounce down from the 180. Christian, 21 what? Oh, I meant 21. I'm sorry, Christian. I look at volume divergence on every time frame. I overwhelm Ninja, which is why I don't do it on Ninja. And I mean, my clients know when I'm trading, I have multi charts in Ninja Trader open. And typically, I go ahead and open my trading chart because I can pretty much tell which time frame is going to dominate. Okay, this room can't handle it. I don't think any room can, to be honest with you. Do we have any questions so far? Let's get rid of that one. All right, let's go look at the British pound. I'm going to change my charts and then I'll come back up to the higher time frame. 1440. Share window. Can everybody see the 1440 now? And this one, I wanted you to notice, and that's the reason you see this green mark here, because this looks like on the 1440. Wait a minute. Let me get the 45 because this is one I wanted to show y'all this morning. All right, do y'all see this green arrow? All right, so you have a green arrow, and that looks like a great setup, doesn't it? I mean, God, you got volume divergence. This is one I need to go in, okay? This is why I use higher time frames, okay? Look at what the 1440 was telling you. You're at an ATR, and you're going to go long against this ATR. Hello. You don't ever go long against an ATR that's on a higher time frame. Do y'all see that now? Now, I knew don't go against that. Don't even think about going against that. That is a 1440 and it will push that damn market down. Do y'all see that now? And I wanted to point it out because I want you to learn, okay, why is it when I take this trade it doesn't work out? Well, some of the reasons is because you're not paying attention to your higher time frame. And you don't want to do that. All right, let's go down to the 720. Look, and I mean, again, this is where, okay, not only did you have an ATR, but my God, you had a congestion dot. And you were going long right into that congestion dot. Do y'all see that? This is why I use the higher time frames. Okay? We don't trade into ATRs. We do not trade in to magenta peaks. And it was a great example this morning. All right? But let's say that you forgot to check it. You're human. We're all human. Maybe you forgot to check it. Okay? Well, we solved that for you too. Okay? That's what the congestion zones are all about. Do you see this yellow line or gold line, orange line, whatever it is you want? This is telling you you are trading into an area on the higher time frame. You are trading into an area on the higher time frame. Hello, don't do that. Do y'all understand that now? From here to here is what, guys? It is a sweet spot. You have nothing in the way. So this is probably, and this answers your question, Christian, okay? It broke the congestion dot, okay? Oh, well, it won't come back and test the ATR. Yes, it will. Because look, this is the pattern that you're making. It's going to come down here. That ATR is going to come down with price, and it may even go back up to this line. This is known as a zigzag pattern. It's also known as Elliott wave. There's 1,000 other names that you can call this, okay? But this is the formation that you see with the ATRs. It's the zigzag pattern, okay? We have been able to nail that pattern using these congestion zones. Do y'all understand that now? This is why we put them on the chart. Okay? And this also explains why sometimes if you just go down to the 45-minute chart, it looks like, well, man, that stopped in the middle of nowhere. It didn't stop in the middle of nowhere. It stopped at an area on the 720 that was acting as resistance. Do you see it now? Yeah, if you just extend a line out, Christian, from the ATR here, and I like the ones that go flat, you can see, I mean, there's nothing there that's going to push this down. And if you look at this bar, the delta even flipped over to the downside. That would require a lot of practice and volume analysis. But does everybody see it? Yes, and I actually started the recording this morning. I'm so proud of myself. Now, the one thing about it, and we can't do it, which is why I haven't done it, because most of you know that if I could do it, it's already done. The one thing that we have not been able to do, and click the wrong button. All right, these represent the congestion dots, okay? This is the 720 because it's gold. The green line is the 180. The red line is the 1440. These are congestion dots from the higher time frames. I still get my clients to put in the ATR values. So, for example, right now on the 720, we have an ATR value at 15, no, 5501. So let me find that one. It's about here. Okay. I would have that line on my chart because this is the congestion zones indicator. It's offering resistance for price as it stands right now. All right. The next area of potential support is this fuchsia line. Okay. Does everybody understand that? Yes, it's the current ATR on the 720. And if I go down to the 180, and I'm not going to show the 180, we also have an area at 5535, which are these two double lines. And it is two congestion dots at this area that may support price to go back up. Do y'all understand that? So not only do you have one congestion dot there, you actually have a series of congestion dots there. Now, where would I anticipate this going back to the ATR? Well, the ADX is at 43.44. That's where I would anticipate it. This happens to be a wide bar. Will it likely retrace? I would say probably, because that's what we generally see. And it generally retraces at least 50%, which would be about here. Okay. I would venture to say it's probably going to go as high as that. Do y'all see that? And that's just using what we know about the markets. Any questions on that? This wide bar tells us that it should retrace about 50%. Okay. Any questions on that concept? And that was a great example of why you will get stopped out because you're not paying attention to the higher time frames. It only got to there, and let's see. Yeah, it might have retraced about 45%. So I might have been 5% off of that one. This is the high of the bar, and this is the low of the bar. So yeah, I might have been 5% off on that one. From the high to the low. That's the wide bar. Do you use congestion zones to take profits instead of or in addition to using the clipper? I really don't use the clipper, Artemin, and I've said that numerous times. I use volume analysis to pull me out of a trade. And I mean, I've nailed some really good moves in the market this week. And if you look at where I came out, it may have went down a little bit more, but I got out at the right times, all I'm saying. Can you start that way? I'll tell you right now, you can't. And one of the things that I see is traders come into trading using volume analysis and they expect to use it immediately. And it takes you time to learn it. And I'm it's about as honest as I can be with you. It really takes time to learn it. Um, Let me see something. Too soon. I'll put this one on the Dow. Well, crude's starting to go up. Let's see. I'm trying to close some of my windows here. And, all right, now I'm going to put. Oh, I can't. All right, y'all are just gonna have to watch this because I'll end up freezing Ninja Trader. Do you see how this is at a orange line on the Dow? Now I would know to start reading that volume. Why? Because this is probably going to support price to go back to the ATR. So what would I be anticipating? I would be anticipating an up move back to the ATR. Okay? That would be my expectation. All right? This is the 45-minute with all the tools. Okay? Now, what happened? Okay? The yellow line is about here. Okay? A little bit up from that. Okay? I already know that we're making lower lows. I know that we're making lower lows in price. What pattern is that? If you watched the video this week that I did for y'all, y'all should be able to recognize that. What is that? That is divergence. Okay? So now, if I really want to lower my risk, because this bar does not finish until 9:45, and let's say I'm real aggressive here and I want to trade this, okay? I could go down to a 3-minute. Is the 3-minute confirming what I'm seeing? Now I'm going to take and put in a line at 758, okay? It's about here. There's my line, okay? What happened? All right. They stepped in here, but look at the next bar. Did buyers control that bar? Absolutely not. Do you see that? Now they came back and absolutely no sellers whatsoever. All right. I'm going to do this in demo. Okay. All right. We're going to say buy the market. Okay. And I'm being very aggressive on this, extremely aggressive. Okay. Now I know that it could potentially go down to 745 or 746 because that's where I got two green lines at, right? The latest one is 7. I'm going to do it at 740. It could go down all the way to there. Okay? And that's using the congestion zones from the 45-minute. All I've done is offset the lowest one, which was at 7:45, 7:46. Do y'all understand that? Yes or no? And this is being really aggressive on this. That's why I'm doing it in the demo. What did I want to do? ADX. Now, the only reason I would do this is what? What would you be capturing on this? Take a wild guess. Yeah, but what are you trying to capture, Christian? You're trying to capture opening volatility, not the low, just opening volatility. In other words, if they spike it up this morning, I've got the potential of making up to about 800. Do y'all understand that? That's 40 points. You see that they're buying the low again on the 3-minute. Now, normally I would not trade the 3-minute right now because it's got gaps on it. Y'all know that. I'm showing you an example. Take it as an example. Now, right now, my stop's at 740, right? They bought the low here. And I'm just going to go through this and show you what I'm seeing. Okay. From here to here, we're making lower lows, but from here to here, we're not. Okay. There's your divergence. We're getting divergence all the way through here. What do you need? You need buyers to step in the market, and they're not stepping in yet. I guess I'll mark it on here because we started out with 20 ticks of risk. Actually, it's 19, but I'm going to say 20. Now, I'm expecting them to go up and at least hit this ATR. That's what I would be anticipating. To do that, it's going to have to take out the high of that bar. But I am expecting sellers to come in. I mean, buyers, excuse me. I'm going to increase the size of that chart so I can actually see it. This is confirmed divergence on the end of that bar, okay? And you also have divergence if you draw lines here between here and here. Do you see how the lines are going opposite directions? All right, now we have made a high, correct? All right, this stop is now going to be brought up. So even though I started out with 20 ticks, I'm now at about 3 ticks of risk. Okay? So now I have 3 ticks of risk. This is real aggressive, Ash. It's one of the things I'll be teaching a lot of at the seminar in September. Uh-oh. We're not getting a lot of buyers in here. Do y'all see that? So now I'm going to raise it even more because I don't want to get stopped out. Yeah, but there's a reason for it, Artemin. Okay? And this has still got 2 minutes, okay? But we're approaching that ATR. And you do this on a 45-minute. It's pretty awesome. This got 2 minutes. I want this volume bar to take out this volume bar. That's what I'm looking at. And if I was drawing it on the chart, okay, here's your volume. Here's your volume. I don't like that. I need it to go up. Do you understand? You still see they're not going up. I need them to go up. I don't need that delta to come below 0. Notice that I'm not sitting right on the low. I've offset that low, in this case, about 1 tick. It's a 3-minute chart, you know. And I don't need it to find what? I don't need it to give me what? Volume divergence here. I don't want to see that because then it's going to bounce back down. Is everybody following this? If you've studied the, see, there's your volume divergence. Now that's potential, okay? So in other words, my bar is gray, okay? And I've got potential volume divergence. What will give it confirmed volume divergence if it takes out that low? I know that. That's the reason I'm sitting at 62. Yeah, you always have different sizes in the bars. I'm saying, okay, come on, guys. Y'all need to come in and you really need to buy this, okay? Do you see why I'm offset on that low? All right. Now I'm going to move my stop up to just about 63 because this is at 64, okay? So either way, I've covered the cost of this trade. It's either do or die. And I'm constantly monitoring, okay, I've got 2 minutes left in this bar. I want to see them take out the high of this bar. Okay? It takes a lot of focus to do this. Come on, break it and give me a congestion dot. Oh, it would be nice if it was up here, wouldn't it? The delta here is the main guide. I wouldn't even say that, Christian. All right. So we came in at 76 on the congestion dot. Because it could have just been like this one, okay? It was just volume divergence. They didn't sell it, is what I was looking at, but you still had volume divergence. Potential anyway. I want it to flip the ATR. And they're showing that, buyers are stepping in. Can they maintain control? And the only thing I'm trying to do on this one is get the opening market volatility that will push that price bar up to where I want it. That's all I'm trying to do. Would I do this at noon? Probably not. Why wouldn't I do it at noon? Because there's no market volatility. That's why. Now, what's going to happen if it hits the congestion dot? It's probably going to bounce back down, right? All right. Put in an order right below that congestion dot. I don't do that, so you could if you want. It's not what I do. And I'm going to raise that stop a little bit more because I don't like the way that bar is forming. And I told you this is very, very aggressive. I don't do this every day. I have to be in a certain mood to do this. Yeah, a lot of people like to see this. I do it, but I typically do it on a 45-minute chart because it's more profits on it. To me, 13 ticks is a joke, but hey, it is what it is. Come on, Basie. Now, if that congestion dot were not there, okay, I would trail this all the way up. But the congestion dot's there. I know that it's likely to bounce, and if it bounces, it's going to stop me out. And I'm going to raise it just a little bit more because it shouldn't take out this high. Do y'all see how you just had that volume divergence? Could you exit the trade and say, okay, I'll wait for it to come back down? Yeah, you could do that too. I'm showing you the way that I do it. There's variables that I would consider if I was trading on a higher time frame. But we're trading a 3 minute. I mean, give me a break. You're not going to get a lot off of a 3 minute. This is where you start saying, "Come on, Bessie, two more ticks. It's so much money." You couldn't do this on a binary, I don't think, to be honest with you, Christian. You have to do this on futures. And the reason that you can't is there's a price difference in your binaries. Yeah, maybe on a higher time frame. Now it's 8:20. It's 9:26. Right? We got opening market. Well, if the market opens and it shoots up, do I want to miss that? No. You could actually say, okay, I'm going to, raise my stop and just follow it with my stop. Then as it is right now, come on, get me out. There. All right, now it's probably going to come back to here. I hope it does it in the next 3 minutes because I'll go back in. You see what they're doing? They're buying the low. That's right, Dave. That's the reason you can't do it on the binaries as well. You have to really kind of be in the futures. And I've done this all day long sometimes, guys. So I don't hear no shit about it. And sometimes it's just break even all day long. You see how they're coming in at the open? Let me. Trying to look at the 6E because it's at the ATR. Give me a minute, guys. Can't do the 6A because you're already at the ATR. You're only 4 ticks away, so you can't do that one. Well, I guess we'll stay with this one and see if it comes back down, test the ATR, and then we'll go back in. Ooh, they're selling that one now. It always bounces off ATR. It's a 3-minute wide bar ornament. It's got to come one tick lower than that previous bar to read the volume on it. I need it to go to 57. If it goes to 57, you have a potential to read the volume. It wants to go down. Well, I have to see, won't we? I actually think it wants to go up to about 821. I'm figuring about 800 actually. Let's see. You do have strong support, but it's coming from the 720 ornament. You got support on the 180 and the 720. If I'm not mistaken, let's see, 1440. This is the one. It's still coming back to the ATR on the 1440. The ATR on the 1440 is at 676, which is about here. And then on the 720, it's where you've got your congestion dots at 759, which is why it's so important for it to hit 59. That's this line. And then on the 180, it should come down to 727, which will be about here, but you do have a double congestion area at 754 and 745. This is going to be green, and this one is going to be orange. The Canadian's fixing to go up, I just I guarantee it. There's no volume divergence there. Don't even think about doing that. It's got to go one tick lower than the previous one, which means it really needs to go down to about 44. Got 2 more minutes in that bar. Let's say this has divergence on it. Is this the same scenario as it was over here? No, it ain't. You get in this one and you immediately have resistance here and here. On the Join Me software, Artemin, you have to go to the website Join Me and download the latest application. They're updating it a lot right now. I don't know. Mine updates automatically. Um, let me see if I can find it. We're just sitting here waiting anyway. All right. I'm gonna change and show this real quick. If I can figure out where I'm at. So if you go to Join Me and at the top there's an option Features, click on it. And then down at the bottom it says Apps. That's the one I would do. So let me go back to this window. Now, this green line can stop price. This yellow line, I'm thinking it's going to be the yellow line, but that's just my personal opinion. All right, let me go grab a cup of coffee and I'll be right back. Okay, guys? This is probably going to give you the magenta peak back to here. We'll have to wait because you have to have confirmed divergence, which is this gray bar. All right, we're going to try this one more time. And this time I'm going to set my stop right off this low, which is at 17. So we're going to start it at, I like 15, so we'll do 15 initially. Now, the problem with this is we do have overhead resistance at 45. We also have it up here at 56. Does everybody understand this? This is in demo mode. I'm not doing this in my live account. And you better see buyers coming in. Because if you don't see buyers coming in, you have a problem. Got to go at least to 35. That will potentially give us the magenta peak on the ADX. Then I'm just going to update that to, oh, it already is. Okay. They're selling that high. I don't want them to sell that high. So I'm going to go ahead and raise my stop. I'm only risking 10 points now. It's either do it or not. And this is where I typically say, get your ass up. See how they're selling the high? That's the reason I raised my stop. They shouldn't be selling the high. Do y'all see that? That's the difference with my volume indicator. No, they shouldn't be selling the high. And they are. You know they are because the delta went below zero. Look at your delta. It is below zero. Okay? That's the reason I raised my stop. This should be above zero, not below. Look. See, they stopped you out. Why? Because they sold the damn high. They shouldn't do that. Now, do y'all understand? Any questions on that one? Now, I know they're going to come back and test the low. Why do I know that? Because this ADX went flat. That's why. All right. Any other questions this morning, guys? Viewer 9, what question did you have? Thank you, Kristen. What about the Kindle download from Amazon? There's I would have to open my email because I don't have that um download bookmarked. So hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Can't remember which number it is. No. Hold on, I got to find my Kindle. There it is. Give me just a minute. Sure one. If you go to Amazon, do a search for mastering your trading. Okay. And this week only, okay, you can get the book free. This week only. I think it goes until Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And you can actually download it for free. Okay. You can put Kindle on a desktop. I have it on all of mine. And Ash posted the link for everybody as well. All right. Any other questions this morning, guys? I'll post the video later today on the website so you can go back and review it. And again, I mean, it was aggressive trading this morning. Okay. So I normally do that, but I do it through a higher time frame, like a 45-minute or a 180 or a 720, because to me it's profitable. Doing these little 8 tick trades bore me. Okay. Maybe. I would wait until the 45-minute shows the volume divergence. That's where you're going to get more bang for the buck. Right now, they're starting to buy the low on the 45-minute chart. And, if, hold on, let me show that chart. Um, Share window. See, this is your 45-minute chart here, okay? These were your little bitty 3-minute trades, okay? I prefer to see this on the 45-minute because if it retraces on the 45-minute, it could potentially go up to the 800 area. Do y'all understand that? So if I get in around 30 and it goes up to 800, that's 70 points. Okay, that catches my interest. 8 ticks, it doesn't even catch my interest. Do you understand now? But that has just about 25 minutes left. Okay. So, I mean, if you really wanted to be aggressive, you could set a limit order in at 744 because that's probably where the ADX peak's going to come in at. Do y'all understand that? So if you had your line in the sand on the 45 minutes, probably telling you about 745 at the close of this bar, the magenta peak will come in. As long as this divergence sticks. Do y'all understand that? That's the reason we did the line in the sand, so that we could anticipate where these would come in at. And on any typical day, a 3-minute chart is only going to give you 8 to 12 ticks. Okay. On a magenta peak, a 45-minute, shit, that's almost 100 points there. Okay. Got my interest. Do y'all understand that? If I go in the market, um, I want to be in the market, but I want the potential for higher profits. I can only tell you what I would be using for a stop loss. Um, that low is 716. Set it at 715. Offset this low. Okay. And that's only if it comes back to 745. Would it even get you in? Yes, this recording is available to all free members. The ones that I do on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday typically are not um, accessible through free membership. Any other questions this morning before I close the room? We'll be back next week at 8:30 on Thursday. We do have 3 seats left for the September seminar. I won't be having another one probably until February of next year. I will be doing one, I think February of next year out in Las Vegas. I only do 2 a year now. Right now, if you buy the diamond, as long as I have those 3 seats available, you can get the seminar in the diamond package for $29.95, but you will have to email me to get that special. Any other questions? All right. If there is no other questions, I'm going to close the room. I hope everybody has a wonderful trading day. You are getting the magenta peak coming in on the 3-minute now. Okay.